Well, adding to the family comes first. I got the my phone on me, and you know, if she goes into labor, I'll be gone. So I'm flying back after tonight anyway. I don't want to leave her alone overnight. She was due, you know, Monday, so she's a little past due. She was feeling pretty good when I left though, so she assured me she could probably hold down the fort until at least I get back tonight.
Okay.
So they've been like for you, Chipper, Hall of Fame, you know.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind week. Got the Hall of Fame from Wednesday to Monday, and that was, you know, something else. I mean, just getting to rub elbows with the members that are already there is enough for me, much less, you know, the honor of being inducted with them is just, it's off the charts. You know, that combined with, you know, our seventh boy on the way, and, you know, we can't do it easy. We're moving the next 4 days to a new house. So, yeah, got a lot going on. So, and I have to, you know, I gotta come up here and play a baseball game tonight. So, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I can't sit idly by and sit in front of the TV. I need to be out doing stuff.
What's it going to be like seeing all your old teammates?
It's great. Teammates, foes, you know, guys that I've played with, played against for so many years. It's just great to get back, you know, in that locker room type of atmosphere. That's one of the things I miss the most, is just that fraternity-like atmosphere, you know, in the clubhouse. Yeah, the body is certainly glad that I'm done playing, but you still miss, you know, all the war stories and, you know, hanging out with your buds. That's what goes away real quick whenever you retire.
Did you put in a lot of practice preparing for this thing?
Did I practice?
Yeah.
I have a broken finger. Broke the tip of my right finger, so I can't throw. I can swing the bat a little bit, but I wouldn't expect much tonight. I come out and tip my cap and say hello to everybody and sign some autographs and head on back to Atlanta. Try not to pull anything.
Johnny, obviously Louisville is really affiliated with Bluegrass. What sort of response do you get from the fans of Louisville?
I don't know. I haven't been out there yet. I mean, you know, my night's Friday, and I actually came down early because I could be here for Chipper. I think it's just fantastic what Brent and the Hall family does and puts all this together. But it's, you know, it was so, you know, I think like Chipper, and it was almost the vibration of walking into the clubhouse first of all, and then you could just hear the crescendo, the noise, the chatter, all the things that are going on. And I think that's the one thing a lot of these guys were telling stories about how they, you know, all of a sudden they were asked to be here, you know, and they, you know, I thought, okay, let's take the family, you know, let's spend the time, let's spend the effort, let's fly, let's do all this. And then when it was done with the game, they were saying, wow, I would have paid anything to have been here. And it's just the whole idea of, like, when we were sitting just in there talking amongst the Doug Flynn and Tom Browning and Ronnie Oster, and we're just sitting there talking, and then people come in and they just want to sit around and just yak a little bit, because you don't get that. I mean, you're a family person, you know, it's like, you know, you have the kids around. I have 3 boys. I have an 12-year-old that I have custody of now. And it's like, you know, it's hard to start a conversation about Yogi Berra or Sandy Koufax with them. I don't know what the problem is, but, you know, you tell them I'm going to Louisville with Chipper. Chipper, was that a cartoon? I mean, I don't know. I don't, but it's just, you know, the feel of it. And, you know, I'm really a follower of baseball. I love box scores. I love so many things. But to see these guys, you know, and see their attitude and just meet them, and they all have the energy, they all have the excitement. And Louisville's been obviously our AAA team for a long time, so it's been very close just up the road. But it'll be fun to see, you know, people coming out and just enjoying, you know. And I think that's the great thing. A lot of people say baseball's too long, baseball's this, baseball's that. And I think we just listen to too many things instead of going to the game, sitting down, having a hot dog and a beer, bourbon down here probably. But I think it's just what they want to see. An evening of entertainment, of just sort of for a lot of these people, it's just all of a sudden a memory that's come back. All of a sudden they remember, oh yeah, you know, here, and this guy, and he was playing, and I saw him at Atlanta, and then he was over Tampa Bay, and I think it's the coolest thing. It's like an all-star team that you never saw, and you know, a lot of these guys have made the all-star team. A lot of these guys far better shape than, you know, ever thought about being, and they're still working out, great condition, and more than anything, like all of us, they still love the game of baseball.
You're managing as well, I mean, strategizing throughout the day.
Yeah, I pretty well probably drive these guys pretty hard. Yeah, have them run them out. Got the fines already out on the board. You know, if you don't run it out, this is this, you know, and everything else. And you know,
you better get ready for that.
it's like when I play in those old timer game, and all of a sudden you hit a ground ball, and then you just take off running, and you can't take off running anymore. I mean, you pull the first hamstrings, and I mean, here's a guy. I mean, what more can you ask for? Here's a guy playing hurt. I mean, this is just the greatest tribute for me being here, that I can manage a guy that'll go out there, show the grit and guts.
What's it mean to you guys tonight's Joe Hall of Fame game? Friday they're on review. What's that mean to you guys?
It's a tremendous honor. You know, my wife and I went to the one last year in Wichita. She had an absolute blast. Wanted, you know, I was actually thinking about, you know, backing out just because, you know, of the situation. And she said, no, you need to go. This is, you know, you had a blast last year, you have a blast, just go up there for a night and come back. She was hoping that she would have the baby earlier in the week so she could, you know, make it up here. She enjoys, you know, the camaraderie and the fodder with all the wives as well. We had a blast last year. They got a ton of stuff for us to do, you know, when we're not at the ballpark, whether it's golf or hanging out in the evenings and whatnot. So it's a fun family affair for everybody, and you know, I'm only going to be here one night, you know, this year, but I'm
You're going to miss karaoke?
I think karaoke was last night.
Well, we're going to have another one Friday.
Okay. But I'm certainly looking forward to coming back next year.
What's your karaoke song?
Mine? They ain't getting me.
Karaoke is a Japanese word for tone deaf.
Yeah, that's about right.
It combines the worst two traits in people who shouldn't sing with people who shouldn't drink. So it's a real combination of this, but hey, we all sound better, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, you get enough of this stuff down here, you can do almost anything.
Just out of curiosity, Chipper, first thing you did after becoming a Hall of Famer?
Sat on the porch in the rocking chair with him. He called me up off the lawn. We were taking, you know, family pics and whatnot, and he yelled down for me to come up, and he knew that I'd been going, you know, 90 miles an hour since Wednesday, and he said, we got about 2 or 3 minutes. He's like, sit down in the rocking chair, hang out with me for a second, take some deep breaths, look at, you know, the lake and the beautiful scenery, and he said, you're a Hall of Famer now. He's like, welcome to the fraternity. Sit here and enjoy it for a minute, and then we'll get going again in about 2 or 3 minutes. And I really appreciated that. I needed it.
You know, the week goes so fast, just that 4 days, and it's just amazing. And I ask all of them, it's sort of a deal I started a few years back. I asked them all to start keeping a diary of what happened. Because my first year, I got there, I went up to, I told my dad and mom, I said, I'm going up to unpack, and I come down the hall and I run into Enos Slaughter. He said, I just met your dad. And I get to the elevator, and Pee Wee Reese comes out and said, hey, I just met your dad. And he gets down in the lobby, and Ted Williams said, hey, I just met your dad. And he's got Roy Campanella in a headlock in his wheelchair, and he was the one really going in. We forget what our parents have sacrificed so many ways. They are so proud. But you forget that all of a sudden you walk in that lobby and you forget there's Juan Marichal standing over there, and there's Gaylord Perry, and here comes George Brett, and there's Cal Ripken. And by the time Tuesday comes, you say, and then we go to the parties, and then we sat at the party, and who was next to us, and who came up and took a picture. And they're just little notes that will remind us by the time we get to Tuesday or Wednesday, goes, what the heck happened? You know, and then I've done the years on the rocking chair, and it, just for a moment, because they've had their families there, they've had their friends there, they've been to every party, people are dragging them in every way and pulling them, and I just want you to sit here and think about what you've achieved, because it's the honor that, you know, only 226 people have ever received as far as members in the players in the Hall of Fame elected. So, and it couldn't have gone better. I mean, we dread the fact that there's even 3 speeches, because guys get too long, and then there's 4, it's impossible. And we got 6, and it's like, and when it was over, to a man, everybody up there on that stage said that was great. Speeches were great. Of course, we had to get Chipper first because she was maybe due. So if we got his speech out of the way, and if it happened in the morning, then he would have been last. So they kind of had a plan about it. But you know, to think that what he's represented for the game of baseball, one of the guy I admired so much because of the way he played, and you know, he could switch hit. I tried to switch hit because I wanted to be Mickey Mantle. You know, that was my idol, and to see what he's accomplished and everything else, just a shoe in. So we had a great class, and I mean, it's unbelievable that, you know, Chipper came under the circumstances. So Louisville should be proud, and I know those guys in that locker are proud as well as I am.